So was I wrong about the iPhone 16e? Because, well, I've been using it as my daily phone, and I switched over from the iPhone 16 Pro Max, the iPhone 16, the OnePlus 13, there's more, the S25 Ultra, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I have a lot of experience with phones, so yeah, how does the iPhone 16e stack up? If you're a diehard Apple fanboy, you might be screaming inside, but you know, just hear me out. I want to talk about some of the experiences I've had with this phone, as it's been my main phone for around 5 days now. And you know, yes, I will be going on a small rant because I don't talk BS. My reviews there's no BS in them. I always just say it how it is. So if you like those kind of reviews, hey, feel free to subscribe. First things first, I really have no idea what the hell Apple was thinking about putting the price of this phone to $599. If it had the same display as the iPhone 16, I could maybe understand. If it had the same chip as the iPhone 16, I could maybe understand. If it had MagSafe, I could maybe understand, but it doesn't. And keep in mind, MagSafe came out 5 years ago. But anyway, it doesn't have any of those things, and in fact, it doesn't even support millimeter wave 5G. Not to mention all the software features like the latest generation of photographic styles, it's not here. It still has the crazy old portrait mode system which only works with people, not objects. And the fact that the 48 megapixel camera isn't the same one as on the iPhone 16. And on top of that, it does not support Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7. It's still using the old Wi-Fi 6 chip, which came out in... I have to Google this one. What was the first iPhone with Wi-Fi 6? The iPhone 11. So, yeah. And that came out in 2019. Yeah, that's about right. So if you're going to be buying this phone thinking it's going to be improving your Wi-Fi performance, it's not. This phone would make so much more sense coming in at maybe $499, not $599. This is proof that Apple can release literally whatever and people are going to buy it. And that's insane. That's actually insane. I mean, that's robbery in my opinion. But after all that, after everything I just said, does that mean this phone is bad? No. It's not bad, it's just heavily overpriced. This phone does have some good things such as the Apple C1 modem, which is Apple's first. That's right, this phone is not using Qualcomm like basically every other iPhone did. From experience, this phone does give me better mid-band speeds, like the sub-6 gigahertz speeds, whereas Qualcomm, it will obviously give you higher top-end speeds because Qualcomm chips do support millimeter wave 5G. This phone, like I said, it does not. But as far as mid-band speeds go, like for example, with my iPhone 16 Pro Max with the latest Qualcomm chip inside, if I'm sitting right here in this office, I'm getting around 60 to 70 megabits per second download with AT&T. Meanwhile, with this phone, also AT&T, except the C1 chip, I'm getting about 120 megabits per second download. So there is a nice bump in that mid-range speed, but of course, not the top end. This is Apple's first kind of go at it with the modems, and I really hope the C2 chip that might be coming out with the iPhone 17s will support that millimeter wave 5G, because this chip is extremely efficient, which obviously leads to better battery life. And oh boy, this phone is really good with battery life. I'm getting around 7 to 7.5-ish hours of screen on time with my iPhone 16e, and that's better than the iPhone 16. And in fact, that's actually about the same as the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Although the iPhone 16 Pro Max is a little bit better, of course, that's to be expected. But this phone, I mean, it's right up there. I'm honestly shocked. If there's one thing to love about this phone, ignore everything else, it's the battery life. The next thing I want to talk about is the 60 Hz display. Yeah, I mean, of course, it was a bit jarring coming from 120 Hz to 60 Hz. Honestly, I got used to it pretty quickly. Within like an hour, I didn't really notice much of anything, but it's 2025. Apple should give us 120 Hz, especially for that $600 to $800 price range like the iPhone 16. It also does not have 120 Hz. I honestly think, in fact, I'm pretty sure, like 100% sure, the iPhone 16 and 16e are the only phones in that price range that don't have a high refresh rate screen. That's not acceptable. I mean, just no matter how you spin it, that's just not acceptable. More so, remember how I mentioned the display on the iPhone 16e is not even the same as on the iPhone 16? Well, yeah, that's actually noticeable. I notice it every single day that I use this phone. The peak brightness reaches roughly 1200 nits compared to 2000 on the iPhone 16. It means outdoor visibility just won't be as good, and it's something that I've experienced. The typical brightness of the iPhone 16e is at 800, which is honestly quite low for the price tag. I mean, that's pretty low. As a comparison, the Pixel 8a, it goes up to 2000 nits of brightness, and it's a $400 to $500 phone. So the display on the iPhone 16e it's okay. It's okay at best. Now, of course, new with the iPhone 16e is that USB-C port. Honestly, that's nothing to be excited about. That's old news. Phones have had USB-C for a long time. But also new is the action button, which can be reprogrammed to do kind of whatever you want. You can even reprogram it to do a shortcut for you, which is good. I mean, thank God. If Apple still included the mute toggle, I would have had a stroke at this price tag. As far as the cameras go, you know, it's not bad. The rear has a 48 megapixel camera, although again, it's not the same as the 48 megapixel camera on the iPhone 16. It's not bad, to be honest. I think the camera performance punches above its price tag as far as single cameras go. That being said, it's insane Apple did not include an ultra-wide camera to this phone. Again, keeping the price in mind. It's not uncommon to find phones with not only one or two, but more cameras in this price range. So for Apple to not even give us an ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 16e at $600, I mean, I don't know. Is it fair? I don't know. Probably not. What do you guys think? Video performance is okay. I mean, you do get 4K 60 quality with Dolby Vision on the rear and selfie cameras, which of course is nice, but it does not have the same sensor shift image stabilization. It's using the older style stabilization, which clearly is not as good, as you can tell here. At the end of the day, this phone does have Apple Intelligence. Whether you think it's worth it or not, that's for you to decide. It has great battery life, and honestly, if I didn't know the price of this phone, I would say, yeah, that sounds like a great phone. But again, at $600, I just don't see it being like that. I can't in good faith say this phone is worth it. Go out and buy it. If you're in the Apple ecosystem, you love Apple, go out and buy this phone. You're gonna have a great time. I can't say that in good faith. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this review, my videos are no BS. I don't sugarcoat things. If something's not fair, I'm going to say it. For $600, you can buy a used iPhone 15 Pro, and I know what you guys are saying, oh, I don't really feel good about buying used phones. You can buy certified used phones if something goes wrong. I believe Amazon has like a 6-month return period for used phones. That's pretty good. 6 months is a good time to kind of see if anything is wrong with the phone. And that iPhone 15 Pro is basically better in every single way compared to the iPhone 16e. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about the iPhone 16e? Did you buy it? Hopefully not. But if you did, let me know your experience down below. And just in general, what do you think about it? Yeah, I'm kind of curious to know. If you guys enjoyed today's video, definitely click that like button. And if you're new here, and again, you like no BS tech videos, definitely subscribe. And as always, this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.